Most people over 60 believe they would know if something was wrong with their heart. They would feel it. A pain. A warning. Some kind of signal. But that is exactly what makes clogged arteries so deadly. There is no signal. Not in the beginning. Not for years. Sometimes not ever, until it is too late. Atherosclerosis, the medical term for artery blockage, is classified by cardiologists as a silent disease. That word is chosen carefully. Because silence, in medicine, is not peace. Silence is danger that hasn't introduced itself yet. Here is what is actually happening inside your body. Your arteries are not just tubes. They are living tissue. Their inner walls, called the endothelium, are lined with cells that regulate blood pressure, prevent clotting, and keep blood moving smoothly. When you are young, this lining is flexible, responsive, almost self-repairing. But decades of exposure to cholesterol, inflammation, high blood sugar, and oxidative stress slowly damage that lining. And damage invites buildup. LDL cholesterol, the harmful kind, begins to penetrate the weakened arterial wall. The immune system sends white blood cells to fight it. But instead of clearing the problem, those cells absorb the cholesterol and become what scientists call foam cells. Sticky. Fatty. Inflammatory. That is the beginning of plaque. Layer by layer. Year by year. The plaque thickens. The artery narrows. Blood flow slows. Now here is the number that should stop you completely. According to research published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, more than 50% of people who suffer their first major cardiac event had no warning symptoms whatsoever. No chest pain. No breathlessness. No dizziness. Just a normal Tuesday morning. And then, a heart attack. After 60, this risk does not just increase gradually. It accelerates. Your arterial walls stiffen. Your body's natural repair mechanisms slow down. The plaque that has been building quietly for decades becomes unstable. And unstable plaque, that is the real threat. Not just narrowing. But rupture. When plaque ruptures, a clot forms instantly. That clot can block an artery to your heart or brain within minutes. That is not a slow disease anymore. That is an emergency. So why does turning 60 change everything? This is the question most patients ask me. And the honest answer is, it does not happen at 60. It has been happening toward 60. Your birthday simply marks the point where the body's compensation systems begin to fall behind. Let's be specific. After 60, nitric oxide production drops significantly. Nitric oxide is a molecule your endothelial cells produce to keep arteries relaxed and wide. Less nitric oxide means arteries stay tighter. Blood pressure climbs. The heart works harder. And harder work, over time, means more wear on already aging arterial walls. Simultaneously, chronic low-grade inflammation increases. Inflammation is not always visible. You do not feel it the way you feel a fever. But inside your arteries, it is constant, quietly eroding the endothelial lining, destabilizing existing plaque, and accelerating new buildup. What drives this inflammation after 60? Processed foods high in refined carbohydrates and seed oils. Disrupted sleep, which research now links directly to elevated inflammatory markers. Chronic psychological stress, which raises cortisol and keeps the body in a prolonged state of biological alert. And perhaps most underestimated, physical inactivity. Even moderate inactivity in older adults measurably increases arterial stiffness within weeks. There is also blood viscosity to consider. As we age, blood naturally thickens. Thicker blood moves slower. In a healthy, wide artery, that is manageable. In a narrowed, inflamed artery, it becomes a serious clotting risk. These are not separate problems. They compound each other. Stiffer arteries. Thicker blood. More inflammation. Less nitric oxide. Unstable plaque. Every one of these is happening simultaneously in the body of an average person over 60 who has received no specific intervention. And this is the part that concerns cardiologists most, not any single factor, but the combination. Because individually, each of these changes is manageable. Together, they create a cardiovascular environment where a serious event can happen with almost no advance notice. The body gives very few second chances in this situation. But, and this is critical, the body is also not helpless. Even after 60, arterial health responds to targeted, consistent intervention. The biology that damages arteries can, to a meaningful degree, be slowed. Sometimes partially reversed. That is where we go next. Your arteries are not fixed structures. They respond. They adapt. Even now. This is not optimism. This is established vascular biology. The endothelium, that inner arterial lining, retains measurable regenerative capacity well into your 60s and 70s, provided it receives the right conditions. The goal is not to undo decades overnight. The goal is to shift the environment inside your arteries from one that accelerates damage to one that supports repair. Start with nitric oxide. Dietary nitrates, found in beetroot, spinach, arugula, and celery, are converted by the body into nitric oxide. Multiple clinical trials have confirmed that regular consumption of dietary nitrates measurably improves arterial flexibility and lowers blood pressure in older adults. This is not a supplement trend. This is peer-reviewed evidence. Garlic contains a compound called allicin. Studies published in the Journal of Nutrition have shown allicin reduces arterial stiffness and inhibits platelet aggregation, meaning blood is less likely to form dangerous clots. Omega-3 fatty acids, from salmon, sardines, mackerel, and walnuts, directly reduce triglycerides and systemic inflammation. A landmark meta-analysis in JAMA Cardiology confirmed that omega-3 supplementation significantly reduced major cardiovascular events in high-risk adults. These are not replacements for medical care. They are evidence-based additions to it. Movement matters enormously. Not intense exercise. Not gym programs. Simply walking, 30 minutes daily at a moderate pace, has been shown in multiple studies to increase nitric oxide production, reduce arterial stiffness, and improve circulation to every major organ. Your arteries physically widen in response to regular movement. That response remains available to you at 60, at 65, at 70. Sleep is the intervention most people overlook completely. During deep sleep, cortisol drops. Arterial repair accelerates. Inflammatory markers decrease. Research from Harvard Medical School has linked chronic sleep deprivation directly to increased plaque formation and elevated cardiovascular risk. 7 to 8 hours is not a lifestyle preference for people over 60. It is biological maintenance. None of this requires a dramatic life overhaul. It requires consistency. One meal improved. One walk taken. One night of real sleep prioritized. Your arteries have been working without pause since before you were born. Every beat of your heart is evidence of that. What they need now is not perfection, just attention. Start today. Not tomorrow. Backhand index pointing down if this information was valuable. Share it with someone over 60 who needs to hear this. It costs nothing and could mean everything. And comment below, which one of these changes are you starting first? Every comment gets read.